This is Scott Becker with the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast. Today's discussion is about the United States debt being downgraded, a lesson for all of us. So here's the issue. Fitch recently downgraded the U.S. debt from AAA to AA+. And this may not have an immediate impact on the U.S. economy, although it's having a negative impact on the stock market today. But what it is a great lesson for all of us, and it's something that I know our politicians will shrug their shoulders at or they'll finger point at. The Republicans will say the Democrats spend too much. The Democrats will say that the Republicans don't tax enough. And the truth on all this stuff is somewhere in between. But at the end of the day, I don't know that either side will have the wherewithal to adjust it. States themselves are in similar situations to the U.S. government. Many people won't take it seriously until we have a true crisis. But there's lessons for all of us. And the lesson for all of us is debt kills nations, companies, and families. I can't tell you the number of companies that are out there now where cash flow is a problem because they're over-leveraged and it didn't think interest rates would go up this much, even though Fed Chair Powell clearly signaled that they were. I can't tell you the number of families that end up tighter on money than they should be, that live paycheck to paycheck because they don't do enough planning around either too much debt or too many other challenges, and so they're not there. The U.S. government and the state governments are no different. Many of the state governments got bailed out a couple of years ago in this administration, and so artificially those states recovered some, but the reality is they recovered some because the U.S. took on more debt to bail them out. The U.S. is going to find itself in a similar situation. I give Fitch credit for having the wherewithal and the guts to do what they did with the U.S. debt rating. And somehow or another, our politicians have to find some discipline and get their hands around this. Again, today's discussion, the U.S. debt being downgraded, lessons for all of us. And there really are, all of us, whether you're running a country or a state, which very few of us are, a company, which more of us are, or a family, which many of us are, or a household, which all of us are. Being cautious on debt is so important, and it's a lesson that should never be lost. That always catches up to people. Thank you for listening to the Becker Private Equity and Business Podcast.